Hey, it's Clay Trade, and this will be a video chart on BEHL, Biocentric Energy Holdings Incorporated. I did this one, I believe, when the chart looked like that, but I've been getting quite a few requests for it, and looking at the chart, I can see why. Nice volume day, nice price reaction, so I want to get things updated and answer the questions that I've been getting on it. Real quick, I also had some people asking if I'm in this one or if I played it, and yes, I did play it. It was a short trade. I bought in here at the 200-day simple moving average because that was a support. It was a low risk, high reward setup, but it did go against me, so I got stopped out. Um, so this was a losing trade for me, but once again, I kept my stop tight, so I took a small loss. But if it had gone my way, I could have made some really good money. It didn't. That's part of the game. Everybody loses. It's just a matter of making sure you control your money and don't let anything small turn into something bigger. So um, to those people, yes, I did play it. It was a very short trade and it was a losing trade for me. But let's get back to the chart and just go over kind of the daily overall thing. The main question I've been getting is, hey, we had a green day, we had good volume. Does this mean the thing's going to bounce in reverse? Well, maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I wish I could predict the future like that. But I will say it was off to a good start. This is what you wanted to see. You've had quite a few red days here, and a green day like this on above average volume is obviously never going to be a bad thing, but there's still work to be done. Will it bounce? I don't know. Is this a bounce? If you're a day trader, yes, this was a bounce today. But if you're in this for playing the daily chart in a longer term trade, no, this wasn't a bounce. It was just a green day. If anything, this was the first day of a stabilization phase. If you watch my videos, I'm sure you've heard me kind of describe the process that has to happen in downtrending stocks like this. First, the price simply has to stabilize. So like I said, maybe this is the first day of stabilization. After stabilization, they have to bounce. When they bounce, bounces turn into reversals, and then reversals eventually turn into breakouts to bigger moves. So right now, I would say that we're in the stabilization phase. Tomorrow and the rest of this week will be very important to see kind of what's going to happen. If the price continues to go sideways, then it's one of those things where the stabilization phase is kicked in and it's starting to just go sideways. But maybe we get a couple more sideways days and it heads up, then maybe it'll turn into a bounce. And the reason I say turn into a bounce is you have to, in order to call something a bounce, it has to actually be bouncing. Sure, this was maybe a bounce for swing traders, but if you're on the daily or if you're playing this from a long-term chart, this was not a bounce. This was 2 green days and then it fell back down. Um, but I know people are calling this a bounce, and once again, maybe to day traders, yeah, this was a bounce. But reading, getting messages from people that are in this for the long haul, calling this a bounce, not really. This, if anything, was just a quick little dead cat bounce, and that's what we want to make sure to avoid on this one. So this video, I'm just going to go over kind of what levels you want to see broken and closed above, and then kind of when you can start to consider it a bounce and so forth. As always, this is just my opinion. This isn't any sort of rule or anything like that out there. This is just me looking at things. The first thing that needs to happen in order for this to move out of the stabilization phase into the bounce phase is pretty simple. I want to see at least a few closing days above this orange line here, which is a 200-day simple moving average. This was support, but it is now resistance. So if the candles can come up here and get some closes above it, then that is when I will say, okay, this thing is starting to bounce. But until then, in my mind, it's just going to be in a stabilization phase. Obviously, if the price continues to go down, then the downtrend continues. But if we just start to get sideways until it breaks and closes above this 200-day, I will just call it a stock that is stabilizing. Nothing more. It's not bouncing or anything like that, just stabilizing. Now, in order for me to consider this more than a bounce and into a reversal, I'd want to see it come up and at least get above this 3 cent level up here. Maybe even that might not even be that might be a little too easy on it. Maybe the smarter thing would be to see if it can get some closes above this purple line here, which is the 50-day simple moving average. But for argument's sake, this is what I'm going to call the reversal line. If you can get some closes above this line up here, that is when I would be confident in starting to call it a reversal getting underway, which will hopefully lead to some bigger breakouts. But I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves right now. We just need to concentrate on seeing if we can get above this 200-day simple moving average, and then above the 3 cent level up here. As for supports, that's pretty easy. Basically, just this low right here is the current little support level. Hopefully that holds, but we will see. And like I said, the rest of this week will be very important and telling in terms of what the Bulls really want to try to do. If they want to just go sideways a little bit and stabilize, or if the Bears are just going to overpower and push it back down, or if there's going to be some more strength behind this move. Because looking at volume, this was the most volume we've had in a long time, and it was a green day, so maybe this is the beginning of something more strong. But charts aren't a crystal ball, so we'll just have to kind of sit back and wait and see. But that's where the chart stands right now. That's kind of what I see in it. If you're a longer term player, don't be calling this a bounce yet. There's still work to be done before it can really enter into a bounce conversation. But good first day, and hopefully we'll get some follow through there. If there are any other questions on the chart, please shoot me a message. I'd also encourage you, if you have not already, to check out bullmarketnewsletter.net. If you go there and sign up for the newsletter, you'll be sent a free ebook, which has been getting very good reviews. And then with your subscription, you'll get trade ideas, chart setups, educational pieces, all sorts of things from penny stocks up to big boards. So there's a good variety. But best part is it's all free, no strings attached, so it's worth at least giving a try. One last time, this is BEHL. Thanks for listening.